Welcome back to SkinArtJ's YouTube channel. My name is Alana, and I'm talking to the owner of SkinArtJ Tattoos, Jay. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
Excellent. It's a little bit of a snowier day.
It's still peaceful, even though it's snowy. It's the nice small flakes and everything's calm, so I'm enjoying it.
I love this type of snow. We've had a real cold snap, and I find that it doesn't snow when it's so cold. So the fact that we're having this fluffy snow means it's a little warmer out.
I'd say, yeah, the same.
Yeah, I like the snow. I hate the cold.
Yeah, the prettiness is very nice. The coldness, to take or leave, you know?
But we're in Edmonton, so we got to deal with the snow half the year.
Is what it is.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the consultation process. I really like talking about this because I think it's something that a lot of people don't think about. They think about contacting the artist and they think about the tattoo, but I find that the consultation process is really important. Would you agree?
I very much agree. I'm very much, I enjoy in-person consultations moreover than other versions of consultations.
Excellent. Text is so hard. You lose tone, you lose meaning.
Miscommunication can easily happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's definitely limitations when it's just through text message.
Excellent. So you'll offer all types of consultations, but your favorite are in person.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'll do video calls. I will do texting if that is the way that someone wants to go about it. Of course, there's limitations with that and how much can get expressed through texting.
Perfect. Well, let's just jump right into the topic. I will
Sure.
start it off with the quote of the day. An artist is not paid for his labor, but for his vision. And that's by Unknown.
Ooh, okay.
I like that one.
I would say, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, a lot of times people are like, why do I have to pay so much money if it took you not very long to do? But it's all of the time learning how to do that.
Yeah, you don't know when they started or how they acquired that skill or how long it took you to get to that skill to make it look that easy or to flow so simple.
Exactly. And when it comes to the artwork that you create, I'm like, how did you pull this out of your head? What was going on in there? You come up with some really amazing concepts that's a skill.
Thank you.
All right. According to Stats Canada, a significant majority of Canadians, both with tattoos, 95%, and those without, 75%, believe that research is needed regarding the design, the artist, and the process before getting a tattoo. This indicates a cultural understanding that the process requires careful consideration, which typically involves consultations.
I would agree.
Yeah, according to Stats Canada.
Yeah, overall, that would be the ideal process is, people doing some research, figuring out a general idea of what they want to get, and then approaching the artist of their choice to start executing the process and being open to feedback.
So a tattoo consultation is more than an opportunity to look at the tattoo artist's portfolio. It is a key step in the process where you get to know the artist themselves, decide if they're the right fit for you, and help yourself feel confident moving forward. During a consultation, you can assess the cleanliness of the studio, the overall environment, and whether or not you feel comfortable spending time there. Your artist will also look at your skin and the area being tattooed. Skin type, existing tattoos, and skin conditions can all affect how a tattoo is designed and applied. Even the size of a tattoo can be affected once the tattoo artist sees the canvas that they will be working with, which is why a consultation is an important first step in the tattoo process.
Very much so. There's been many of times where you see a picture from someone and you're like, okay, I'll draw something. And then they come in and it's like, oh, your limbs are a lot longer than I anticipated. This is going to be a much bigger tattoo than we thought.
Right. And even my tattoo that you last did on me, I love it because I picked the design. It was one of your flash pieces. And when I got to the studio, you're like, we're going to have to go bigger as soon as you saw the placement.
Yes.
And in fact, we increase the size 3 times.
It was, yeah, that's the thing, is like to actually fit the body and make sure that it doesn't look out of place, or that it's not just a lick and stick kind of tattoo. It's very much in consideration of like, how is it sitting on the body? Is it legible from a distance? Can you tell what the tattoo is?
Nice. And ultimately, I'm really happy with the size. Like I said, 3 times larger, but it belongs there.
I'm so happy that we did that one.
Me too. All right. Why do I need a consultation before tattooing?
There's a couple of things that I like or would much prefer for a person to do in-person consultation. I want to make sure that they feel comfortable being in the space. If you're not comfortable and you're already feeling vulnerable while you're receiving something brand new that is altering your body, it's not going to make the best experience for a person. And that's not my goal. So at that point, the environment itself is a crucial aspect. Then it's making sure that our communication is getting along, because I understand I have very direct communication. This sometimes works very well for people, and sometimes it doesn't work so well for people. I do my best to make sure that my messages land as softly or as appropriately as possible, but I'm human. I'm still going to make mistakes. And even with that, I want them to know that when we're having conversations, if something doesn't land well, they are still open to expressing that it's something that didn't sit well with them, and that we can adjust how we're communicating. Then it becomes, okay, well, artwork. What is your idea? What's your concept? Why are we getting into this design? What is it to represent? And see the different kind of ideas. I can get anywhere from someone coming at me with like 20 ideas and they want to mishmash it all into one tattoo, where the more we start discussing what the meaning is behind the tattoo and what we're really going for, it now simplifies it, makes it a lot more legible. It makes it a lot more of a dynamic piece that they're going to have for a lifetime and be happy with, that represents those elements, rather than just having a whole bunch of things placed willy-nilly on them and not give them the best visual effect or flow for their body.
Great. So what happens in the consultation? Take me right from the very beginning to the end. What does that consultation look like?
So I like to bring people in. I get people to, I'm in a new space, so I get people to message me when they arrive so I can go and retrieve them or go in, meet them at the doors and bring them to the space. Once we get into the space, I like to show them around and let them see the space itself and really get situated with what's to be expected or where things are, so that they're comfortable with everything, whether it's finding the washrooms, as we do have a male and a female location, finding the tattoo space, and then also seeing the other space that is designated just for eating, and making sure that their body is fueled efficiently through the process, and that if they do have to bring things, that we can help store food away so that they have snacks available and they have the energy to get through the session. There's also spaces for people that do smoke, so showing them designated spots to accommodate if they do need those breaks, and then showing them the general areas that we're going to be situated and where we're going to continue the process.
Excellent. And then once you've shown them the area, do you just start talking about their vision for the tattoo? If it's a flash piece, what do you need to see from them?
So after I've shown them the space, I bring them back over to the area that we're going to be working in, so they know exactly where to expect us to be. And we both sit down and stuff. Not always do I immediately jump into the artwork. More or less, I will start to see, like, how's their day going? How are they doing coming into this? What's going on in their world? Just checking in and making sure that, like, they're at ease, they're comfortable, and that they're ready to talk about this. and that everything is good for them. From there, then it's diving into the tattoo process or the tattoo design and bringing up any references if they have sent any prior to, or if they do have any on hand, or if they are looking at a flash design. So just seeing which avenue they're kind of going for. Some people have approached me where they've shown me my own work and they like what they see with the flash design, but they want a new design that caters to some of their concepts with these ideas in mind, which absolutely love doing that too, because that's taking something that I already know and then creating something new to accommodate to what they want to also see, creating a new vision. Then from there, depending on course where it is that they're sitting with their artwork and whether it's smaller design, bigger design, I'll probably pop in a question of like, how did you end up coming across? Like, how did you find out about me? I like to know how people found me, because I do like to honor people that are referred by another. They do get a discount off if they are referred by a friend or a loved one or something of a sort. And then from there, it's discussing what I think it might be for time-wise to do their concept and what they'd be looking at with a rough estimation in mind for the tattoo process, and then finding out where they're at and if they need to break things down into smaller sessions so that we budget accordingly, or if they're ready to do larger sessions and they're ready to start getting the ball rolling sooner than later.
And if they want some custom artwork from you, is that the time that you would take payment or a deposit for that piece so that you can begin the custom artwork?
So once we've gone through the design and we have determined what next steps that we want to take for how to proceed forward, I will request a deposit to make any date bookings, which goes automatically towards their tattoo. And that just gets the process started for me to start designing something and give them a date that tells us of how soon to expect this project to start. From that point, I also offer a 3-day grace prior to their session to come see artwork if they would like to see their artwork prior to the session, or if they're comfortable showing up for the session and we just start the session.
And at the consultation, is that when you look at the body part that they want tattooed? Do you ever change your thought process or your artwork based on the body part that they want tattooed?
Very much. So that's part of the design process, seeing what they have in mind, where they're looking to get something, and what they have in those areas, if they have any tattoos, for what they're expecting to do. With that, if it is a design that I think is going to take more space than where they ideally want to put something for the intricacies of the details in the design, I will start suggesting other placements to help the design flow a lot better. Example, I had a client who originally was thinking maybe on her upper arm on the opposite side of doing some wrenches and a daisy and doing some filigree stuff. But she wanted 2 wrenches and she wanted it crisscross. And I was like, that we can do, but it's not necessarily going to fit very nicely on her arm. It's not going to flow great, and you're not going to see the design as a whole. It's going to start to turn as her arm is more cylinder. So we repositioned it to being over her knee, where when she's standing, you can see the whole design as is. And then it also starts to wrap in around her knee, so it flows with her body. So after a couple of conversations of what it is she really wanted with her artwork, whether or not we were going to go with 1 wrench rather than 2 wrenches, even during that process, she had mentioned originally, she was like, yeah, let's do it with just 1 wrench and a daisy and we'll fit it on the arm and go that way. And I was like, we can make that work. A couple of days passed and she's like, can I let you know that I changed my mind? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, that's not a problem. We just have to consider that now if we are changing the artwork, and we are making it different, I'm going to strongly suggest going in a different placement so that you get the best look for this tattoo. And with some back and forth communication and making sure that we're on the same page and what the outcome is to be so that it captures the essence for her grandpa and her grandma and being such a sentimental piece, we moved it to her leg. And once again, it was much larger than she anticipated. But in the long run, she has now become very happy with her design.
It's always good to change your mind before it gets on your body.
Very much so. I do want people to speak up. I do want them to be able to let me know if there is something that they need changed. As I've let people know also during the consultation, and also it is covered through when I send the booking details, is that with the artwork, hopefully by the end of that conversation, we are pretty clear on what expectations are and what we're doing moving forwards. If it comes down to we're re-looking at artwork and we're kiboshing over 50% of that design, obviously for some reason our communication wasn't going well and it did not land as it was intended. But at that point, like, it does potentially forfeit the deposit, being that hopefully we were very clear and concise the very first time before we put that deposit down. I do check in with people and make sure that they are comfortable moving forwards before they commit to the process, to make sure that anything that needs to be expressed about this design is very crystal clear so that it's not a surprise factor and that we know what we're doing. I have had some people resist that, where I make it very known right from the get-go that this is how I work, this is how I operate. And I've had some people resist it, where I've had some people demand that I do them 3 drawings and then they'll decide from the drawings what they like best. I simply don't work that way. I have other clients and other appointments that I have also allocated my time towards, and I do structure myself so that I can have time for everyone that I take on, and very intentional about how I'm spacing that. So at that point, I can't accommodate for doing multiple designs like that. If that is something someone wants to do, there is an extra charge because I am putting more time and more effort into it, and they may not get the soonest available booking.
Right. And are consultations necessary for everyone, including flash pieces, or is it a different process if they're getting a flash piece done?
If they're getting a flash piece done, it's pretty straightforward. They see the price, they see the rough estimation of the dynamics, and then the rest is just making sure and asking basic questions. Do you have any health concerns that I should be aware of that might impact the healing? And then B, where are we putting this? Is there any other tattoos around this existing area? And if so, are you open to other placements if it doesn't work there?
Do people need to bring their own references to their consultation, or is that something that you can provide?
They don't necessarily have to bring their own references. That being stated, of course, I'm going to lean into what I think is suiting to what they're describing. Mm-hmm. So it might be a little more swayed towards what I think is great, but that's where I will sit with someone and we will go through it. I do allocate 1 hour of time to sit with someone and to make sure that we're going through everything and combing through it to make sure that we have the concept or the idea that we want to have moving forwards. From there, I can sit with them. So example, people wanting to come in and they want to do a specific script, but they don't have any script in mind that captures what they're exactly seeking. I will go on with them and we will look at script together. And from there, we can pick some together and narrow it down and talk about what can or can't be done if we want to make something a little more customized. Example, someone doesn't like the way that a C looks on some of the script for one of them, but loves the C on another one and wants to combine the two. Awesome. Let's do that. And now let's tweak it so that it looks like it was all intended as one word together. And then depending on the placement and stuff, that it flows properly on that body part.
Nice. Is there ever an opportunity that you would turn down a tattoo after a consultation, and why?
Yes, there is times I have turned down tattoo consultations or tattoo concepts. Some have been where people want me to do tattoos that I'm really not excited about, and they are tattoos that I would see maybe someone that is in beginning stage or maybe not even professional, where it's just a mishmash of a lot of different designs and it's not aesthetically pleasing at all. I'm not wanting to do that just for the money, and I will let them know that it's not something up my alley that I can do for them. Usually people don't hesitate too much with being open to creating something a little more artistic. Another instance is someone asking me to do the KKK and tattoo them. I'm not going to shame someone for having beliefs that I am strongly against. I also am not going to be the person that's going to add to that and condone that, because it doesn't sit well with me. I don't stand by that. And I don't believe that something that represented so much hatred towards people is an appropriate thing to have on your body.
Right.
So at that point, I will just politely say, I am not the artist for you for this piece. This is not something that I can do for you.
All right. What about skin type? Does skin type affect the tattoo, the placement, your approach?
Yes, it does. There's a couple of different things with skin type. People have roasted me. Bear with me, because I keep fucking it up. That word just escapes me more often than I'd like.
Melanin?
There we go. Someone called me out on social media. They were not happy with me.
Oh no.
But yes, that will impact the skin tone, which then of course impacts how the ink is going to sit after it's healed in the skin. So there's that aspect. To then there's other things like the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, where the skin is different than a common texture or a common elasticity with the collagen. So then there's different aspects or different things to consider while going about the process and how you care for someone, and being very mindful of what their body is telling you while you're going through that process, and how to best prepare their body to make sure that it's the best outcome that we can strive for. So very much there is different things to do with the skin, and placements, very much one of them. Different body parts that are going to have thinner tissue, to then different things with their health, like another person's health, and what may impact the healing process, or how it might impact the skin with taking the ink. So once again, with the skin tones and being darker, there is more possibility of keloids happening in the skin.
Right.
So aspects like that, and how you apply, or the techniques that you use in the skin, and how much you're fiddling around in that skin so that you are not wreaking havoc on a person's body.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. The skin type is very individual. Making sure that you are familiar with their skin will be very impactful.
Very much so. Yeah.
Excellent. And is the consultation the right time and place to discuss pricing and scheduling?
Yes. I do more often than not lean into telling people to book a consultation so we can talk about things and the pricing. Sometimes people just send me a picture, and like it's a big picture, and they're like, how much is this? There's a lot of questions here that I need to go through. Where are we putting it? Do you have any other tattoos? Is this a cover up? what is your skin type? How is your health? What kind of work do you do? Is that going to impact how you heal, or like your skin's toughness towards getting a tattoo? What do you drink? A lot of water? Is there hydration in your body? How much sun exposure do you get? Do you suntan a lot? I would more likely be leaning into wanting to do a consultation with that, so that I can give a better idea, a better estimation, and a better idea of what you're doing with this artwork and why you want to get it. As once again, someone can come in with an idea, but once we discuss it, it can transform the artwork into another idea that captures more closely to what they were looking for.
Excellent. And the last question that I have for you today is, how do I, as the client, know that I'm making the right choice with a tattoo artist?
One thing that I repeatedly have mentioned very recently, even consistently through the past years, make sure that you feel at ease with them, that you don't feel pressured. If someone is pressuring you to do something immediately without allowing you to think about it or to consider your own position in something, there's likely a reason that isn't for your best interest and why they want you to rush into that decision. The other aspect is making sure that you yourself just feel good in that experience. If that experience didn't come out good after you encountered them, that may not be something that leads to further experiences being any better. So very much consider how you feel coming out of it. What was shared with you? Were all your answers or all your questions answered when you did? If they weren't answered, how did the artist go about trying to find out answers for you? Did they take interest in wanting to find out those questions, or did they slough you off? Did you feel like there was a lot of clarity, or that there was a lot of trust built in that moment, that you are moving forwards with clarity with that artist and what to expect coming forwards, and knowing that like you are for sure going to have that experience? I have heard more often than not people saying that they've booked something with their artist and then their artist doesn't communicate, and they either go to a new shop or they completely skip town and they don't communicate what has happened. I do my best to try to do that. I understand that, of course, no human is perfect with that. I do announce on my social medias to make sure that the information is there so that hopefully people can see it. And if not, I try to personally also reach out. If your artist isn't putting any effort into staying connected, then it's probably not the best match for you.
If you leave your consultation excited, that's a good sign.
Very much.
Excellent. So if someone wants to get a consultation with you, Jay, what do they have to do?
Two options that I do allow people or keep stating for people to do: either text me with 780-722-2023 so that we can start discussing dates and times and setting up a consultation, or even reaching out with my form on my website of SkinArtJ Tattoos.com, where it's right on the front page. You just got to fill in some details and hit send, and I will get back to you and I will send you a text message.
Excellent. And you are booking about a month out now, so contact you sooner rather than later.
Ideally. There is a few spots left in March, and then we'll be getting into April. And then with April, we also have the tattoo convention.
Excellent. So if you're expecting to get a consultation right away, that's not going to happen. So plan in advance. Jay's tattoos are definitely worth waiting for. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us for the latest edition of SkinArtJ's video on the YouTube channel. Please hit like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with everybody that you know that would like to get a tattoo from Jay.